Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing some DIY bee decor that you can use on a tiered tray. I'm going to start off with my scrap pieces of wood that I will be painting, and I'm going to be using crocus yellow. I will also be adding just some scrapbooking paper to these. I'm going to be revamping an item that I already have and creating 2 new items. So let's get started painting. Now I've painted it like this, so I'm going to be using this piece of paper that I printed off of the Creative Fabrica, where I just did my dots first and then I put the bee kind over it through the copier. I'm just going to mark my edges here. I want to make it a little bit bigger just in case. I don't want to make it too small because I really don't want to reprint this. So I'm just going to put it in the cutter here and get it cut. Line up this side and get the other 2 sides done. All right. So I'm just going to be Mod Podging this on here. And I know I'm going to have to be cutting off the edges. Let's just put a bunch of Mod Podge here onto the wood. Get it all buttered up here. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and put the paper on here, just kind of get it lined up here where I want it. Move it just a little bit. Okay, get it all smoothed out. I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to take my X-Acto knife, and always be careful when you use one of these, they are extremely sharp. And I'm just going to cut off the edges. Okay, I'm going to continue to do the rest of it, and here's how it looks. I am also going to be hot gluing on some of this zigzag trim. And I'm just going to go ahead and put it around all 4 of the sides. Just want to kind of dress it up a little bit. Okay. And let's get the last part done. All right. And then I'm going to be putting another piece on the back of this. All right, so this is what I've done. I've taken the polka dotted paper again, and I just used a couple of my stamps that I got from Temu. And I thought this was kind of cute because I like to do it double-sided for my tier tray. All right, so that is done on that one. My next one, I printed this off, again, of the Creative Fabrica, where I did the honeycomb design first and then put the Be Happy over it through the printer. And I did cut it a little bit bigger. I went ahead and painted this whole piece because I wasn't sure what I was going to do. Let's just get the Mod Podge on here. Okay, and then I want to line this up. Get it in the right spot. Got to move it just a little bit here. Okay, and it's going to move down a little bit more. Sometimes I like to make my paper a little bit bigger so I don't mess up if I make it too small. I think that looks about right. Let's smooth it out. Okay. I'm going to move it over just a little bit more. All right. Turn it over, and I'm going to use my X-Acto knife again. Okay. Let's go ahead and cut all these off. Okay, Smooth that out just a little bit more. And let's get this other side done. Okay. Got one little piece right here to get off. And smooth it over. And kind of messed up right here. Let me fix this real quick. Okay. There we go. All right, so I'm going to do something on the other side, of course. I want to do something a little bit more dimensional on it. Looks like I need to just tuck this down a little bit. And this corner too. Okay. All right. There. See, I think that looks really cute. And I'm going to put some scrapbook paper on the other side, right here. And also, I'll be adding something dimensional. And I did go ahead and cut this one. Go ahead and put Mod Podge on here. And this is just another one that I got off of the Creative Fabrica. It already looked like this. I thought it'd be a great background. Okay, let's get this on. Smooth it out. All right, so what I'm wanting to do is I have this little cute bee. It's wood. It came off of this pick, and I think this will look really cute on here. Okay, let's figure out where I want to put it. And that's the only thing that I'm going to put on here. So it gives it a little bit of dimension because I like how the little antennas stick out on it. I know you can't see it on the black as well. But I think this will look really cute. Just trying to figure out which direction I want to put it. We'll go like that. All right, so I'm just going to be hot gluing this on. And you know, I can't remember where I got these picks. I've had them for quite a few years. It might have been that, I don't know if it's called Factory Craft Outlet. I might have gotten them from there. I really can't remember. But I really do love them. All right, so that is all I'm going to do on this side. And you can kind of see the antennas there. So it's really cute on both sides here. So one last thing I want to do is I want to dress up the edges here, and I'm just going to take some black paint. I have one of my bigger stencil brushes here, so the bottom is kind of big. Just going to dip it into the black paint and make dots. And if you want different size dots, you can still use the same brush as you can see here. You just keep going. When you add paint, you're going to get the bigger dot, and then if you just hit another one spot like that, you're going to get a much smaller dot. So I'm just going to be putting these on just 3 of the sides, not on the bottom. Just to kind of dress up the outer edges. Let's get some more on here. How about a little bit more over here? Make that one a little bit bigger. Okay. All right, so I'm going to continue on the other sides, and that one will be done. So this one I'm using pineapple yellow, and I'm going to be doing the 4 sides with this, and I'm going to be using these 2 things that I printed off of the Creative Fabrica. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started painting this. I normally use the crocus yellow, but this paper here you can see is a lot lighter of a yellow, and I thought this pineapple yellow that I have would match it better, since the crocus yellow is a little bit darker. So I'm going to get all my sides here done, and when it's dry, we're going to start putting the paper on. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut here. Let's get this cut down to size at this point first, and then I will just figure out what size I need here. Just kind of pressing it down. All right, so there is that side. Had a little bit more to take off. And now let's go ahead and figure out this one. I think this is just so simple and easy to do, just by using scrapbook paper or things that you print off yourself off the computer and just Mod Podging them on. And this is the perfect size for your tiered trays. Okay, it's got a little bit more to come off of here and that side. I think that looks good. So here it is. That's all I'm doing with this one. I'm just going to leave the sides alone. I like how cute this looks. And now we're going to go to the next piece of wood here. And this one I'm going to be painting warm white. I'm not going to do any yellow on it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one on here. And again, this is from Creative Fabrica. And this is just a little honey drip that I'm going to do because I'm going to draw a little honey pot on one side. So I want to go ahead and get all of this painted. And I will have to paint the other side white. So I'm going to be painting 5 sides on here. Okay. We'll get this finished up and then I'll be cutting out my paper. All right, so I'm going to figure this out first here. I'm going to get this one done first. I'm just cutting it down to a smaller size so that I can just put it on here and just press down, figure out where I want to set it. There we go. Got my lines, going to cut it. And let's figure out the sides. Oops, had a little bit more there. And let's get these sides done. And then I'll get it Mod Podged on. All right. So I've gone ahead and drawn this little honey pot on here, and here's the other side, and I took the little drip and I cut it down, and I cut it to where it would fit like that. Okay, so we're just going to Mod Podge this on. And I actually drew this on with a pencil and then I went over it with a Sharpie. As you can tell, it's not perfect looking. Okay, I'm actually going to take my Sharpie here and go a little bit more here. You can see some of the white. I didn't get it cut out perfectly on the curve. All right, I want to do a couple more things to this. So I'm going to take my Sharpie again and I'm just going to put a bunch of lines here just to kind of fill this in, because I'm not liking this all white. It's just to represent that there's a lid on here. And it's not on very tight, of course, because the honey's spilling out. And I have this cute little buffalo check bow that came off of something else, and I'm just going to hot glue it on. Just to give it a little dimension and make it look a little farmhouse. All right, see, isn't that cute? And I actually want to draw a few more lines right here. I'm not liking the way this looks at the bottom. All right, there it is. Now my next project is this piece here that I got from Hobby Lobby on clearance, very cheap. I got a bunch of these. And you can use both sides. I'm going to leave it black for what I'm going to do. And I think I'm just going to take my paint and paint over here with the warm white, because I'm not sure what my background is going to be yet. And you know what? I don't think this is going to cover very well. So instead I decided to print out this honeycomb pattern that I got off of the Creative Fabrica, and I'm just going to Mod Podge this on. And check it out. This is a split wooden egg. and I've drawn lines on it. I'm going to have a bumblebee. And I cut these wings out here, and I have a little split wooden ball here. So I think it looks really cute. It looks just like a bumblebee. So the wings that I got this is another thing I got off the Creative Fabrica. And I printed this one first. It was way too big, so I made it smaller so that the wings would fit for the egg shape. And I'm just going to use a thin piece of cardboard here because I want to Mod Podge these on here, cut the shape out, and I want to bend them up so it looks a little more dimensional for the wings and that they're not just flat. So let's go ahead and get this Mod Podged on here. Okay. And when this dries, I will cut out the wings. Now that they're cut out, as you can see, I'm bending them up so they're sticking up a little bit. Just trying to figure out where I want to place this. Exactly. Before I get painting on it. Yeah, I think this is going to look perfect on here. So I kind of messed up on my striping when I did this. And I had to wipe it off. I was putting my yellow where the black should have been, when I decided to do black. So I'm just going on here, painting my stripes that I just hand drew them on so they're not even or anything. And then once this dries, I will go on and do the black stripes and paint the head black. Let's just get this yellow finished up. And I like to do the yellow first because if I go over my line, it's easier to cover that up with the black. And I am using the bright yellow for this. So you see all my pieces are done now. We're just going to be hot gluing everything on. This is already looking really cute. Let's get the wings on. Put them in place about right there. And we'll put the body here. Just going to put a lot of hot glue on here. I could use the E6000 if I wanted to, but I might want to change this out. So we're just going to hot glue it on. Okay, I'm going to take my Sharpie and I'm going to make some antennas here. Just hand draw them on. And I want to make them a little bit thicker. And I'm going to slowly do this so I don't get them the wrong shape. Just kind of do a little section at a time. So I think I want them just a little bit thicker. Okay. And I'm going to do that little dot that you see on all those little cute things where they have the little dots from where they were flying. So I thought that looked really cute to put that on here. There. That is that one. Now my next project here is I'm using my warm white on here that I painted. This is just a little pudding jar that I have, and I printed this little thing off of the Creative Fabrica. And I cut it out really close, and I'm just going to be Mod Podging this on to the jar. I'm going to make a little honey pot. I thought this was the perfect size. I saved all these, and I think it was like a pack of 6. And I can't remember if they came from Sam's or where I got them, but they're so cute, the little jars. And I use them to store little things in my craft room here. And I thought I'd use one of these for a honey pot. All right, so we're going to Mod Podge this on here. And I probably should have used more of a brighter white to paint it, but that's okay. I like the label standing out a little bit more, being more bright white than an off-white. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry. And then I'm going to be adding some honey to this at the top. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my hot glue gun and I'm just going to make some lines. I'm going to start in this area here, because I'm going to actually put something at the top, so I don't want to start at the very top. And I'm making all my little drip lines coming down. And I am going to be doing this around the whole jar. So I'm making some long and some short, some medium length, just kind of staggering it. Okay, just going to show you here how it's looking. And then I'll get the rest of them done, and then it gets to be painted. So here I have all of it done, and it's all dry now. And I'm going to be painting it with my yellow. And I'm using one of my smaller brushes here that's pointed. And I'm going to do this really slowly. Try not to get any on the jar, just on the hot glue. All right, so let's get the rest of this done here. I think this is so cute. All right, get a little more on here. Let's get this. And I may have to do 2 coats on here. Some of this doesn't look like it's covering very well, so I'll let it dry and do a second coat where I need to. Okay, we're almost done. All right, so here's how it turned out. Isn't this cute? It is so adorable. So I was going to put the lid on, but I decided not to leave it open. And I have some of this buffalo check ribbon, but I had to cut it just a little bit off of it because it was a little too wide. And I'm going to just hot glue it onto the side here. And I did just a little knot, and I have a cute little honey dipper here. I don't know if I'm going to paint it or not, but this is how this one turned out. So cute. Now my last project here is something that I already have. I bought this, I think, from the Factory Craft Outlet place. And I like it, but I don't like the glitter on it. But I do like how these with the pip berries just pull out because it is foam. And I'm going to be painting this, and I'm going to be revamping it up. But I will leave the pip berries. So I'm going to be using my crocus yellow again on here. I think it's a good color. And I'm going to get all of this painted up. Let's see, let's go ahead and get some paint on here. It's probably going to take a few coats to get this covered. But I'm already loving this color much better than the darker yellow with all the sparklies, as you see. And I will be adding some details on here too with some paint. So I get that done. All right, so let's go ahead and get this all painted up. Make sure I get in the crevices here as best I can. So as you see, I have this all done. And I'm taking a thin brush, and I've got some black paint that's watered down just a little bit, and I'm going in all of the crevices here. And I don't mind that it spills over a little bit either. Let's get a little bit more here. Just to define, you know, the beehive here a little bit. All right. Let's get a little more on here. Okay, I'm liking how this looks. I might actually try to darken this up a little bit too. We'll see. It's looking pretty nice. As you can see, it looks a lot better putting this black paint on here than it did on the back side without any on there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of this done. Okay. So it's almost done here at the top, just a little bit more. Kind of a little smudgy there. We're going to get off. All right, then I want to paint the inside of here black. There's just a little bit of black in here, not a whole lot, but I want to get more black inside the hole here. I'm really loving how this looks much better. I wish I would have bought 2 of these now. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is push the little pip berries back in. Just randomly pull these here and just stick them in. Okay, I've got a couple more here. Let's kind of move this jute holder out of the way. This is a really long one, so it has to go down here at the bottom. Okay. All right, so I need to add some bees to this. Gotta have some bees. Let's make some bees. So what I'm going to be doing is using my little bee mold that I got from Temu, and I'm using a new clay here, this Crayola Model Magic. It is a foam clay. I thought I would try it out. It's a little bit cheaper than the paper clay, and I think this is something I would rather like to work with. So it's more of a flexible clay. We're just going to push this in here. And I like how I can do this in little pieces. It's harder to do that with the paper clay. The foam clay seems to be works better that way by putting little pieces in. The paper clay always seemed to want to crack on me when I would do it that way. Let's just push this in here, make sure it's in the mold. Not too much is sticking out. Okay. All right, let's pop it out. I like this because you don't have to let it dry for a little bit. And see how cute it is? And I like the foam because we're going to like make the wings fold up just a little bit like this. Okay, so I've let it dry, and I'm going to be painting this just yellow and black. I'm going to do the yellow first. I'm going to take my black, and we're going to go in here. And I don't have to be super neat with this at first. Just kind of go in. And I have sped this up. I don't paint this fast on little details. As you can see, I've gone over it a little bit, but that's okay. You know, you just go back in. I'm going to paint all this black up here. Okay, and the sides a little bit so you don't see all the white. Okay, and we're going to fix this a little bit. And I'm going to dab a little bit of the yellow right here. This is kind of textured area. And this glacier blue is what I'm going to be painting the wings with. It's a very light blue. I didn't want to leave them white. I thought it would be nice to have them a little bit of a different color. All right, so once this dries, I'm going to be adding some more details to the wings because you can see there's little lines in there. So I'm going to take the black again, and I'm going to use it watered down on my brush a little bit. Paint them black first. I know I'm covering up the. Let's come and take a wet piece of paper towel here, and I'm going to wipe it off. I'm just trying to get it into the little cracks that you can see. There we go. See? Isn't that cute? Then you can see all these little details that's in the mold. Let's get the other wing done. This one's not wanting to work as good as the other one. The other side did. I'm going to add some more black here. And try to wipe some of it off. Yeah, it's just not, it's not wanting to stick in the crevices there like the other side did. Must not have got too much detail on it. All right, so there it is. I actually got 3 of them. Now we're going to put everything together. I have my 3 bees. I have some my little flowers here and some greenery. I'm going to hot glue that one right there. A little bit of greenery. Figure out where to put it. Hot glue it right there. Okay. And let's see, let's do another flower about right here. Stick that right there. More greenery. And trying to figure out where to position it. Okay, we'll put it right there. And trying to figure out where I want to put a bee. Let's start putting some bees on here. Glue him right there. And I think we'll put the last flower down here. That looks kind of cute. All right. And we'll put the greenery, I think, off to that side. Okay. Got the other 2 bees to add. I think we're going to put one over here by the hole, like it's getting ready to go in the hive. And, I don't know, maybe this one up here. Okay, so that's it. Let's check out how all the projects turned out. Now here is how they look sitting together. I put them on my shelf here. So I like the black background, so they pop out. I think these all turned out so cute, especially the beehive here. I think it looks so much better. I am going to leave the jute on there for now because I might want to hang it down the road. And I love this guy back here. He is so cute. All right, let's turn these around so we can see the other sides. And one more. And let's get it turned. There we go. All right. So that's it for the video today. I hope that you enjoyed it and I could give you some ideas for making your own bee decor. Now, please be sure to come back tomorrow to see how I style these on a tiered tray and my lemon decor that I did the other day. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.